Yo, so let me just start this off correctly. Why it is when you speak the truth, they start to use AI bot technology to respond and then try to somehow vouch for it that it's the right thing to do. Something is definitely wrong with not just the generation of people that's supporting these demons, but also with the individuals who are working with these demons. The reason I'm saying that, listen to me well, in any other part of the world, a sitting government minister would definitely be highlighted as in his name, along with the officers who did the crime, as in not reporting it. In any other part of the world, they would be arrested also. Furthermore, when you literally arrest people with no evidence and you have your psychophan supporters being paid with AI bot technology, oh gosh, to manage multiple hundreds of bots to respond and slander, and every time you counteract an answer and they can't respond, they come out with another one. That's when you know the level of how indecent our government is. So let's get to something which is very disturbing to me. The young man who was involved in the shooting that did not release anybody of, that is originally from Printreville, Amon, he did not get buried as yet. You know what's disturbing me? Now listen to me very well. It is heard from the horse's mouth. The Western Division, along with multiple members of the Northern Division, was zacatting business people and many individuals. And the young men were working for the police to collect that zakat. So when you were doing that, you were shorting the young men and not paying them. And from that happening, when they went to collect the money from a Mr. Rommel Douglas, that's why it went sour. You know how much money that you owe them. I'm not condoning any of the practices that transpired. And then you're lying to the public, not once, but 5 different times. You all changed the story. All you went on a manhunt for them, ain't? Yeah. Police killed them, ain't? Yeah. So you're telling me that bullshit and want me to swallow it and believe it? Just like breastbone and fries. That is so unbelievable, it's shocking. Why I'm highlighting this? It have a lot of people that know a lot of people. So when you lie about situations like that and you're the police, how do you fucking expect us to trust you all? Rommel, I have history with him. So when you come out and you say it was something dealing with an accident, I automatically know his family members were lying. Because you work in 4 road station. They go Martin drivers, where's he seen? Yeah. You see lies like that is what has pissed off people like me. You see zacatting people, and then when these young men are very much impressionable, this is what you're teaching them to do, and members of the TTPS. So unfortunately, Rommel didn't do this by himself. And furthermore, did you notice once again, the story changed multiple times? At first it was a shootout, then a single shot, then multiple shots from the man on the left side. It's very interesting, very, very interesting. How many lies can you all push out from one story is what I'm starting to observe as a common practice, especially from the TTPS, which is really overhanded and held hands by the UNC. You know, I could also say that, see this what going on in Eddie Hart grounds? You all wait until Eddie Hart died to do this shit. Or nobody realized. Yeah, I realize. Some other people realize also. So let's get to another topic. There's a young lady from Carnage that did me an injustice some years ago. She didn't listen at all. She's very impressionable at the point in time. But putting on a fake ass and playing the ass could get in a lot of problems. So remember, you made a promise to me. It makes me laugh now. You made a promise to me, and your best friend is to encourage you to do wrong, but you like vouching for them. So vividly in my mind, I remember you making a ruckus with 5 people to bad up my name. So right now, Trinidad and Tobago and the broader spanning world, you can Google for yourself. Now it's 5 Johnson family members have died so far. Whether from Las Cuevas, whether from Arima, whether from Pinto, whether from St. Augustine, and somebody else. Can't remember the next point. So on top of that also, the young lady I'm speaking about name is Jessica, by the way, from Carnage. Then her best friend name is Samantha. What's interesting about that, Sheldon Lewis was the individual who used to victimize me in ECRC. Not once, but maybe 2 different visits. And somehow he and Mr. Lord thought it was funny. Do you all know he was the one who got killed earlier this year? Yeah. So when I was incarcerated there also, there was an interesting chemical associated junkie. His name just happened to be Nigel Lewis. And then I realized, definitely, I asked him, I said, by chance, you know somebody named Samantha? He said, yeah, that's my cousin. He was begging me for groceries constantly. Had on a UNC t-shirt. Of course, it's bright yellow, so you can't mistake him. And also, in 2020, Yannick Lewis was one of the officers that definitely victimized me by giving me quadruple tickets. And this is when his other officers were drunk. And there was a police officer sitting in my vehicle. Hear what I just said? You're smelling the alcohol on them. Why did it take the Police Complaints Authority 2.5 years to fucking investigate my matter? Men drunk today, say like it's August the 14th, 2026. Why did they take nearly 3 years, could they? To investigate the matter. Yeah, Mr. David West, I'll never fucking forget you with that. Right, so let's stay on track. So that's Sheldon Lewis, Yannick Lewis, Nigel Lewis. So on top of that, this week, we had a pair of family members get murdered nearly the same way. Right, one in Grandy, one in John. That's 5 Lewises now I spoke about, all related to Samantha. They call me Obiaman for a reason. But you all like to do stuff to people, and this is where I'll change the point, and I brought up that point. If nobody is ever held for being accountable for their actions in Trinidad and Tobago, what is the chances that anybody from the police service would ever be held accountable for their actions? Good question, isn't it? On top of that also, Rock Hard Cement, Jerlene, I know you're hearing me loud and clear nowadays. What is going on with Barry, yourself, and Rock Hard Cement? On Wednesday, when it was announced to the public, we're going to get 30 police posts. Why is it on Saturday? One was already constructed, and the one in Taruba was already being constructed. That means you guys knew purposely well and in advance you were going to make those posts and don't give a fuck about the public. So what's going on right now? Mr. Austin was right. So how could you have the consultations with him after you fully constructed the police posts? Make it make sense. Then on top of that also, literally you got admittance of guilt from individuals using bot accounts. And Barry answering me this morning using fake accounts. This is the level that Trinidad has reached to. Hey, waiters, boy, you good? Yo, there's the level that Trinidad has reached to. And if you want to have your tail between your legs, no problem, you know. But the thing about it, that's not me in any format. In any format. The only thing I suffer from is lacking a little sleep and really missing out on certain things that I love to drink. What is Trinidad missing out on? Honesty. What we are missing out on? Genuine men in the public. What we're missing out on? Honest individuals who are in public office in any format. Meaning that any type of member that you are representing the general public, why you all must lie so much? What it is about greed and vanity so affecting you all? Why it is every time people are speaking the truth, it affects all the small-minded ones so much that they feel compelled to respond, especially when they have no facts. The thing about me, what Trinidad knows, I always come with receipts. So the type of weather that we get in is one thing, but the type of lies that we incorporated with this type of weather makes it feel like hell on earth. This is not okay in any way. So let me highlight something for you all now. Two things actually. If you rape my son or my daughter, I'll kill you. That's all I say. Just putting that on the market. So when it happens to you and you begging me to take down my post after you raped a young man until he's suicidal, how am I supposed to be feeling? And knowing that you're guilty. And then a whole political regime is pretending that nothing happened. Barry Shiva Padarat, you are a pathological fucking sodomite liar. If you do not come out with information based on rock hard cement, trust in what I say, many pieces of information will come out shortly. And you know what? IP addresses don't lie unless you have a VPN. And the constant usage of bot accounts, especially the individual called Clint Hustler this morning, made me quite upset. So within that being said, know that I don't ever run idle threats. You could ask Rohan Sinanan, because it would seem like Felix is jealous now. I don't run hot. I run very much cold. And what's going on right now, trust me, remember I'm a wolf. So automatically, the shit that you're doing, I am biologically and mentally totally opposed. I fear God in all formats. So right now, the right is wrong and the wrong is right. And the things that you all doing to the public, you're supposed to accept it. That's why police officers can be using an electric vehicle and shut down on the highway. Another one runs into a Range Rover and you all remain silent. On top of that also, all this that's going on in the Western Division and Northern Division, why is Mr. Smith and Mr. Alexander not making it a priority to arrest the young lady who had a racist rant embarrassing everything Afro-Trinidadian? Just like how they ran down and arrested Olive Jack, Johan Harry, along with Kern and Karen Alexis. Why is it not a priority? Is it because he likes to wear big shades and stuff and stand Hyatt and performing like he's freaking dancing to freaking, what you call her, boy? Adele. I don't understand all the crazy asses, you know. So on top of that also, what you need to remember, Trinidad and Tobago, Barry literally kicked some people out of different boards to have his friends there alone. And from that happening, we're talking about FCB board. We're talking about B-Mobile board. We're talking about MTS board. All of them have been touched by Barry's nasty actions. So when this happens now, when you have to make certain decisions, it's very easy to definitely run a country into the ground, because all the nepotism, cronyism, friendships and bromances definitely have a lot of power going on in our country, aka nation. So from that happening, understand, it's very funny what's going on. So the people who want to stick their heads in the sand, yeah, that's a serious problem. But But the thing about it, as usual, Trinidad and Tobago, I'll show you the footage first of Mr. Austin, and then I'll tell you. Good day.
Today, I spoke to the media and I said I found this government to be very irresponsible, and the lack of communication and consultation is the problem that we had as a council. They were here, two senior government officials, the Minister of Homeland Security, the Minister of Rural Development and Local Government. They were here, they had the hecklers here. It was a whole immature showdown. But as a young chairman, I found that these two senior officials and the government could have been more responsible and held to the communication and consultation, because the ground is vested in the corporation. Nonetheless, upon leaving, and this is how God works, upon leaving, a young man was around, just moving around, and he was just trying to speak to people, and he came up to us and he said, you know, I'm here to investigate because we heard, they didn't even liaise with this agency, he heard that there was some construction here and there are gas lines around here. So upon his investigation, we stuck around. He found out it's not somewhere around here, the gas lines are under here. The flags are now here, showing exactly where these lines are. We now, as a corporation, have no choice but to give this 5-day notice of violation. We have 5 days to comply, and I hope now this so-called responsible government will come to terms with what they fell short on and do what is necessary for the safety of the Burgesses, right? There's to be no structure like this on top of a gas line. It must be able to be moved. So I look forward to what this so-called responsible government is going to do about this.
Something you should know, because you're hearing the truth and you don't like it, doesn't mean it isn't the truth. It also means that you shouldn't victimize somebody because they're speaking it. I'm a Trinidadian, a patriot, and a realist. So trust me, understand when the rain is falling, there's things to cover you. But when you're doing evil, nothing above will protect you. Understand, Trinidad and Tobago, I love you guys. Deuces.